Everyone knows Croatia's coastline is stunning, but what you don't know is how different each destination feels. From bustling towns alive with culture to serene islands where time stands still, we're ranking the top 10 places along the Dalmatian coast. What makes number 1 the ultimate must-visit? Stick around to find out. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join our community of explorers getting practical travel guides on exceptional destinations around the world. At number 10, we start at Mljet National Park. Mljet National Park is a place that feels like a secret. This protected area sits on Mljet Island, known as the Green Island for its dense forests and untouched beauty. The highlight here is the pair of saltwater lakes, Veliko and Malo Jezero. They're surrounded by pine woods so thick that everything feels hushed and peaceful. In the center of the larger lake, you'll spot a small islet with a 12th century Benedictine monastery. A quiet spot you can reach by boat. There's plenty to do if you like being outdoors. Trails wind through the park for hiking and cycling, and the calm lakes are perfect for swimming or kayaking. It's never crowded, even in summer, so you really get a sense of escape. Getting here is easy with ferries from Dubrovnik or the Pelješac Peninsula, making it simple to add this hidden paradise to your trip. At number 9, we have Vis Island. Vis Island stands out for its sense of solitude and authenticity. Tucked away as Croatia's most remote inhabited island, Vis spent decades as a military base, closed off to outsiders. That long isolation preserved its culture and landscape, so when you arrive, it feels like stepping into a quieter, more genuine version of the Dalmatian coast. If you're interested in history, you'll find reminders of the island's past everywhere, from old bunkers and tunnels built during the Second World War to airstrips hidden among the hills. The natural beauty here is just as memorable. Stinova Cove is a quiet beach surrounded by cliffs, and the blue cave on nearby Biševo Island glows with an otherworldly blue light when the sun hits just right. Don't leave without trying the local Vugava wine, grown on vineyards that feel as old as the island itself. At number 8, we have Makarska Riviera. Makarska Riviera is where the landscape really grabs your attention. On one side, you have the bright, clear water of the Adriatic, and on the other, the steep slopes of Biokovo mountain rising behind you. The coastline runs for about 60 kilometers, lined with pebble beaches that seem to go on forever, all shaded by pine trees and washed by turquoise waves. One of the most memorable stops here is the Biokovo Skywalk, a glass platform that juts out from the cliffs. Standing on it, you get a view of the entire coastline and nearby islands, with nothing but air beneath your feet. Down at sea level, Makarska and Brela are lively towns with busy promenades, small restaurants, and a relaxed local vibe. You'll find plenty of places for swimming, water sports, and family activities. At number 7, we have Brac Island. Brac Island comes next on the list, and it's easy to see why. The island's most famous spot is Zlatni Rat, or the Golden Horn, a long, narrow pebble beach that stretches into the sea. What makes it special is how its tip shifts with the wind and currents, so the shape is always changing. The water here is clear and cool, and there's always a breeze which draws in windsurfers and swimmers alike. Just a short walk away is the village of Bol. I loved wandering its stone streets and stopping at small cafes right on the waterfront. Bol feels relaxed, but there's always something happening, especially in the evenings when locals gather for dinner. The island's white limestone has been used in buildings around the world, and you can see traces of this heritage everywhere. As we continue uncovering these exceptional destinations, don't forget to hit subscribe and join our community of explorers getting practical travel guides. At number 6, we have Sibenik. Sibenik is a city where history feels woven into every stone. Walking through the old town, I found myself winding along narrow alleys and steep staircases that lead up to the Grand Cathedral of St. James. This UNESCO World Heritage site is built entirely from local stone, and its frieze of carved heads is unlike anything I've seen elsewhere. The craftsmanship here is impressive. Every detail tells a story of the city's Renaissance past. The old town isn't just about the cathedral. St. Michael's Fortress and St. Nicholas's Fortress both offer sweeping views across the bay and out to the islands. St. Michael's even has a Mediterranean garden tucked inside its walls, a quiet spot above the city. Just beyond Sibenik, CROATIA National Park is easy to reach. I spent a day following wooden walkways past waterfalls and natural pools, with the sound of rushing water always in the background. Sibenik's blend of old-world charm and easy access to nature makes it stand out, especially if you're looking for a place that feels both lively and authentic. At number 5, we have Trogir, Trogir immediately stands out for how well its history has been preserved. This UNESCO World Heritage town sits on a tiny island where every street and building reflects centuries of change. The old town is compact, making it easy to explore on foot, and the blend of Romanesque churches, Venetian palaces, and stone alleys gives it a real sense of time layered on itself. I wandered through winding streets and found the Cathedral of St. Lawrence, famous for its Radovan portal and the climbable bell tower. From the top, I could see the red rooftops and the Adriatic stretching out beyond the city walls. The Camerlengo Castle, built by the Venetians, still stands as a reminder of Trogir's defensive past. When I needed a break, I headed to the waterfront promenade. Cafes and restaurants line the water, and it's a great place to watch boats drift by or just enjoy the breeze. At number 4, we have Korčula Island. Korčula Island is a place where history and legend feel close at hand. The island is often linked to Marco Polo, and in Korčula town, there's even a house that locals say was his childhood home. Whether or not the story is true, it adds a certain intrigue to the town's medieval streets. Walking along the old stone walls, I noticed how the Gothic and Renaissance buildings seem to glow in the afternoon light, and every narrow alley leads to another small discovery. The layout of the old town is clever. Its winding streets were designed to block strong winds but let in the cool sea air. That thoughtful planning makes wandering here comfortable, even on hot days. I caught a performance of the Mureska sword dance one evening, with locals in traditional costumes retelling stories of conflict and victory, a tradition that's been kept alive for centuries. Before I left, I tried a glass of Gorku wine from the vineyards in Lombarda. It's crisp, with a hint of salt from the sea breeze, and felt like the perfect way to experience the island's character. At number 3, we have Hvar Island. Hvar Island stands out for its blend of natural beauty and lively social scene. The hills are covered in lavender fields, especially vibrant in June and July. Walking through them, the scent is everywhere, and you'll see stalls selling lavender oils and soaps. I picked up a few as souvenirs, and they instantly brought back the feeling of wandering those purple hills. Once evening comes, Hvar town shifts gears. The harbor fills with yachts, and the waterfront lights up with bars, restaurants, and music. The Venetian architecture gives the whole place a classic look, but the energy is modern. I stopped by a couple of the well-known spots, Carpe Diem and Hula Hula, and the atmosphere was welcoming, with a mix of locals, travelers, and even the occasional celebrity. Getting here by ferry from Split is easy, and the island's balance of relaxation and excitement makes it memorable. At number 2, we have Split. Split is a city where ancient history and everyday life overlap at every corner. The heart of it all is Diocletian's Palace, a Roman fortress from the 4th century that's become the city's living center. Inside, the peristyle square is surrounded by granite columns, while the emperor's former mausoleum now serves as the Cathedral of St. Domnius. I climbed the bell tower for a clear view of the city and the coastline, and it was worth every step. Outside the palace walls, the Riva Promenade is always busy. Cafes line the waterfront, and people gather under the palm trees to talk or watch the ferries come and go. The Pazar market nearby is full of local produce, lavender and fresh bread, reminders that Split is as much about daily routines as it is about history. At number 1, we have Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik, often called the Pearl of the Adriatic, is impossible to ignore. Croatia's finest stone walls stretch 1.2 miles and rise up to 80 feet high, wrapping the old town in a fortress of pale limestone. Walking the full circuit, I watched the city shift from quiet morning shadows to golden evening light, with the terracotta rooftops and the Adriatic always in view. The walls were built between the 13th and 15th centuries, and today, they're still the best way to see how the city's layout fits together. Dubrovnik's popularity soared after Game of Thrones, but its draw runs deeper. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the city now caps cruise ship arrivals and daily visitor numbers to protect its heritage. For a different perspective, I took the cable car up to Mount Surge. Standing there, the entire city and coastline stretched out below. Early morning or sunset is the best time to walk the walls. The crowds thin, the light softens, and you get a clearer sense of why Dubrovnik has captured so many imaginations. For anyone planning a trip, the Dalmatian coast stands out for its mix of historic towns, dramatic scenery, and everyday moments that feel authentic. I found that each stop offered something different. Sometimes it was the taste of local wine, other times it was the quiet of a hidden cove or the details in centuries-old buildings. There's a sense that you're never far from something interesting, whether you're into history, food, or just relaxing by the sea. With Croatia's tourism on the rise and this region playing such a big part, it's a good time to see it for yourself. If you're looking for a place that balances tradition and natural beauty, the Dalmatian coast is worth exploring. And don't forget to subscribe for more expert tips and discover the world's most exciting and affordable places to explore next.